Noah! Noah? Yes, Gramps? Have you any idea how those old cassettes and VHS tapes ended up all over the floor over there? No, I don't know anything about that. I can't see the mice knocking them down. That stuff was pretty tightly packed onto that shelf. Oh, you never know where mice might end up. Well, and Joanna and Granny haven't been out of the theater all day. And there haven't been any humans up here either. I guess I might have thrown that stuff down there. You guess? You might have? No, sir. I'm not guessing. I threw them. Maybe you better tell me what happened. Well, I was looking around on that shelf up next to the tapes over there, and I saw 3 or 4 mice heading for our boxes of backdrops. And before I had time to think, I grabbed some tapes and threw them at those rotten little rats. Did you hit any of them? Nah, they were running too fast, and those tapes and cassettes are kind of hard to throw straight. It was really kind of funny. I see. And, what about being nice to mice? I forgot about that. It all happened so fast. And then you lied about it? Well, you sounded angry, and I was afraid I'd be in trouble, and so that lie just sort of popped out before I could stop it. It didn't occur to you that lying would get you even more trouble? No, I didn't think about anything except keeping them out of our stuff. And keeping yourself out of trouble? Yeah, well, that too. Sounds to me like you need a lesson or two. Lessons? Yep. First, you need to hear about Daniel and his 3 friends. Oh, you mean from the book of Daniel in the Bible? That's the one. I just started reading that. Now let's see. The king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, and his army attacked Judah, and the Lord allowed him to take it because of Judah's disobedience to him. Nebuchadnezzar's army also sacked the temple. Right. Then Nebuchadnezzar ordered that some healthy, intelligent Jewish men of noble birth were to be brought to Babylon to be educated and to serve in his government. They were to be trained in language, literature, science, and mathematics. Among those brought to Babylon were 4 boys who were still faithful to God and lived by his laws. Well, but they were captured and taken anyway? During violent times like war, the innocent suffer with the guilty. Oh. Well, the king wanted the boys to lose their Jewish culture and become Babylonians. He changed every one of their names. The 4 faithful boys' names were changed from Daniel to Belteshazzar, Hananiah to Shadrach, Mishael to Meshach, and Azariah to Abednego. He also provided the best of everything for all the boys who were brought from Judah, including food from his own table. Oh, well, that was nice of the king, since the boys were actually enemy captives. I suppose, but these 4 boys didn't want the food from the king's table. It didn't meet God's requirement for faithful Jews. Oh, it would have been a sin for them to eat it. Yes, you see, Noah, the boys had already decided to do their best as much as it was possible in captivity to obey God and keep his laws. They would not allow anything to lead them away or corrupt their morals. They didn't have to stop and think about it when challenges came up. It was already a firm commitment between them and God. Not like me. When there wasn't time to think, I let the situation instead of my convictions take over. Maybe I'm not as committed to doing right as I thought I was. Apparently, and that's why I'm upset with you. You were totally in submission to God during doing wrong wouldn't have even had a chance. I see. I've been doing this wrong. I need to give my whole self and all I do to God permanently, not one event at a time. So, what did the boys do? Daniel asked the man in charge of their care to give the 4 of them only vegetables and water to eat. The man said he couldn't do that because if they started to look unhealthy next to the others, the king would have his head. Yikes! Daniel suggested a test. They would eat only the vegetables and water for 10 days. After that, the official would compare them to the others and make the decision on what he saw. Oh, well, what happened to them? After 10 days, the 4 boys looked better than the others. They were able to stay true to God and his dietary laws. And when the 3 years of training ended, the official presented all of the boys to Nebuchadnezzar, who tested them and found that these 4 boys by far excelled above the others. They answered the questions 10 times better than the others, and Daniel, known as Belteshazzar, could also, through prayer and his close relationship to God, interpret dreams. The predictions and interpretations he made are among the most important in the entire Old Testament. Wow! So they first obeyed God, they chose to do right, they prayed, and even though they were in a difficult situation, they did their best to serve him in all things. And God blessed them. That's a recipe for all believers in him to be blessed. If we follow that advice, we'll live for God and in his joy. What a great lesson, Gramps. I'll try to follow that from now on. Well, we all make mistakes, but when we do, God is faithful to forgive us if we ask him and to help us do right the next time. And now to the second lesson. Uh-oh, I was afraid of that. You need to pick up all those tapes you threw down. By myself? Yep. But Gramps, you threw them down by yourself, didn't you? Yes, but by the time you finish, I think you'll always remember the first lesson. Okay, Gramps, you're right. I'll go get started. Dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, dare to make it known.